Це 30.
This is the last day of spring, the 31st of May. My name is Vasil Samokhalov from the Media Center Ukraine. Our guest today is Oleksandr Khorunzhiy, the press officer of the State Emergency Service of Ukraine. Welcome, sir. Glory to Ukraine, glory to heroes. We'll be talking about the developments that the Kyiv region and the Kyiv city have seen recently. We are seeing the massive aerial attacks and drone attacks almost on a daily basis, and of course your service has to deal with it. Will you tell us the facts and the data? The State Emergency Service continue to perform the duties in eliminating the consequences of the UAV attacks and rocket attacks in the period of 26th to 31st of May. What we have known now is that we've seen more than 800 of such attacks in 13 regions of Ukraine, including the capital city of Kyiv. Our services have performed 75 interventions, saving 75 persons and putting out 72 fires. I would like to draw your attention to the fact that in comparison to the recent events, the number of attacks has increased twofold. The most massive attacks were targeted to the capital city and the city region, and the territories of Kharkiv, Sumy, Dnipropetrovsk regions and others are also attacked. As a result of the terrorist attack by the Russian Federation, we have identified 112 places where we saw the landing of the debris as a result of the shot down rockets, the debris of the rockets and the UAVs. These locations include the city of Kyiv and the Kyiv region, leading to damages and ruins of 237 facilities, 100 of those in Kyiv city and the rest of them in the region. We have seen 15 fires that broke out, 10 in the city and 5 in the region. As for the high-profile emergency situations as a result of these aerial attacks by the Russian Federation, in the city of Dnipro, as a result of the rocket attack, a local hospital, three-story hospital, was partly damaged, leading to a fire. The fire was put out with the area of 12,000 square meters, 1,200, square meters. We have also seen the sports facility, 7 high-rises, private houses, and 12 cars being damaged. As a result of a rocket attack, 4 people died and 2 children were also injured. The putting out of the fire that broke out as a result of this attack and the elimination of the consequences, we engaged 82 rescue workers, a lot of equipment. The service provided 13 of the specialists. Now, my point is that apart from the fact that residential areas are targeted, the critical infrastructure is also targeted. In the city of Dnipro, firefighters were attacked, ruining 3 buildings and damaging more than 21 cars. Our rescue workers also were targeted and were wounded. It's a flagrant breach of different international instruments, including the Geneva Conventions, that precludes the attacks against rescue workers because they are working unweaponized. They don't carry weapons. The total numbers since the full-scale invasion of the Russian Federation are these. We have seen more than 97,000 interventions. We have saved more than 4,000 persons. We have extracted from the debris the bodies of more than 1,000 persons. We liquidated more than 14,000 fires. We provided electricity to thousands of facilities of social infrastructure. We delivered more than 10,000 tons of foods and more than 59,000 tons of drinking water. Now I'm saying that we have delivered this aid to the population that are in dire need of both food and water. Our psychology specialists are also delivering aid to approximately 2,000 and 16,000 Ukrainians and those who suffered as the result of the attacks by the Russian Federation. In a nutshell, that wraps it up as for the dealing with the consequences of the recent aerial attacks. Questions from the floor. Ukrinform, Irina Litvinenko, you mentioned the strike against the fire unit in the city of Dnipro. In general, since the beginning of the full-scale invasion, how many have you seen such instances? And since it is the breach of the customs of war, do you share this information with the international bodies? And how many rescuers have suffered recently in the city of Kyiv and the region? As for the statistics, I'm not sure I can share all the numbers with you, but the fact remains the same that recently we've seen that in the Donetsk region, in the city of Dnipro, in Kharkiv region, in 2022 it was Kyiv region and Kherson region where firefighters were attacked and wounded. We don't know why they're doing this, what is the reason for doing such attacks. As for the death toll, as a result of the full-scale invasion since the 24th of February last year, we have seen 74 officers of our service that have died and 235 persons have been injured. Dmitro Didura. And another point, as for sharing the international bodies, of course we share this information with the international partners, and all these crimes of the Russian Federation have been recorded. Espresso television channel. Over the last month, Kyiv seems to have been the city that suffered the most massive attacks. Do you have the statistics? Now, how do you compare the month of May vis-a-vis previous months? What is the change in tactics of attacking residential buildings or attacking the facilities of infrastructure? You know, we have to look back in terms of statistics, but in comparison with the previous weeks, the number of airstrikes have doubled. The rescuers are in a very tight conditions, but we are doing our best to keep up with the challenges. The number of attacks have increased significantly when we talk in terms of the weeks, but I'll be informing you about the month's statistics. What are the resources that your service is employing? How many units do you have? How many people have been engaged? What are the major needs of the Ukrainian State Emergency Service? The fact is that we have been very effective. We want to be more effective. As for the resources, we are on a 24-hour daily duty. Now we have more than 700 rescue workers on duty and more than 2,200 vehicles. Who are these people? Rescue fighters, rescue workers, special rescuers, and rescue and search units that are dealing with the debris of the damaged buildings, the pyrotechnical units, of course, that are dealing with demining, in particular, while the terrorist attacks are underway. We are also having units of divers, including others. The capabilities are available. The state helps us, as do our international partners. We are in constant contact with our international partners. We have recently received special vehicles to deal with the fires in the high-rise buildings and to rescue people from upper floors and to conduct rescue and search missions in such buildings. We have received new equipment for the pyrotechnical units, including the aid coming from France, that will make it more efficient for us to liquidate the consequences of the buildings that are being damaged. We have now set up a most effective system of first rescue response, including the response to the Russian attacks. You mentioned the high-rise building procedures. You know, a lot of people are living in such buildings, and the architecture of these buildings sometimes is not fully lived up to. Do you plan to have some inspections and to go to every single building to see if such buildings are ready to respond? Of course, we are planning such actions, but we cannot inspect every single building. It depends on the authorities, on the local authorities, on people themselves. Because, you know, it takes time and effort to get closer to a building, and you see a lot of cars being parked in the near vicinity, and it doesn't allow our vehicles to come closer for them to be able to maneuver and come and develop and employ our facilities. It takes time. This is why I would like to turn to people to treat such situations responsibly, to make sure that the rescuers can come as close to the buildings as possible and not to prevent them from doing their duty. Thank you. We have other questions. We'll be addressing you in English, so take your device, please.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Rajesh Pawar from India Today. I just want to know about these attacks in Moscow, the drone attacks. It was Ukrainian forces which conducted the attacks, or what do you have to say about them?
Я зрозумів. Я відповім. Трошки
This is not exactly the state emergency service issue. We are not part of the assault or military actions. We are service of rescuing people from the Russian terrorist actions. We are lifesavers. We are saving people from the debris, and we are putting out the fires. So I am not in a position to answer your question. This is not my field of responsibility. Thank you. If there are no more questions, we will be wrapping up. Thank you very much, sir, for your exhaustive information. We'll be keeping our work tomorrow. Stay tuned.